The Sexist Left. I'm Brian Lilly with the Rebel.media. Do you ever notice how lefties like to claim they're on the side of women, that they're feminist, especially male feminists, and then they start talking or writing, as the case may be, about conservative women? Seems conservative women don't count as women. Today's prime example, author, columnist, and unhinged conservative hater Michael Harris. Here's part of what Harris wrote in his latest column for iPolitics. Rona Ambrose showed up in the house in something that resembled leather. She looked like the girl who fell for the leader of the pack down at the laundromat. Really? You're taking on women's fashion now, Michael? Do you own a mirror? Full disclosure here, I spent a couple of years, more than a decade ago now, working with Harris. I was a reporter, he was a host at a talk radio station. I can tell you that Harris is no clothes horse. That section of his column came towards the end of a long, rambling rant that was short on facts, but very long on describing just how much he hates Stephen Harper and every other conservative. Rona Ambrose and her fashion choices included, it seems. Now, once upon a time, Harris was a respected journalist and author. Now he's mostly lauded by those suffering from Harper derangement syndrome, which Harris obviously still suffers from himself, and it's coloring his judgment. Coloring it so badly that he's criticizing how a woman, the leader of Her Majesty's loyal opposition, is dressing. We know what would happen if I were to criticize a Liberal MP for how she dressed. I'd be denounced as a sexist pig. There would be calls for me to be fired, banished, tarred and feathered. So what if Rona Ambrose wants to wear leather in the House of Commons? She looks good in it, and the last person she should take fashion advice from is Michael Harris. I've been on the Hill a long time. I can tell you there are good dressers and bad dressers. Rona Ambrose is one of the sharpest dressers on the Hill. And by the way, so is the man she's taking on, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. He's a sharp dresser. Meanwhile, there's people in all parties, men and women, some of them cabinet ministers, that show up looking near homeless. You wonder if they dress themselves, and then you realize no one would be that mean to them, so yes, they did it themselves. But is that something I'm focusing on? No. I'm not going to give you names. Politics is about, or should be about, policies. Who has the right policies, who has the wrong policies, what those policies will mean in your life. But Harris doesn't care about policies. First off, the Conservatives aren't in power. They can't enact anything anymore, but he still wants to make sure you know he hates them. Secondly, he's more interested in personal attacks. In addition to attacking Rona Ambrose and her clothing choices, he attacked Scott Reed's hair. Just like no one should take fashion advice from Michael, no one should take hair advice from him either. Michael Harris should be ashamed of himself. The folks at iPolitics should be apologizing for publishing this, but since this is a conservative woman facing a personal attack from a lefty, that's not going to happen. I wouldn't hold your breath on traditional feminists standing up for Rona either. To them, like to Harris, women don't count when they lean to the right.